Hey everyone, for those who don't know me, my name is Alexandra Dunning and I'd like to introduce you to my presentation on robotics being used for stroke rehabilitation. Before we get started, I'll just give you a brief overview of this presentation. First of all, I'll give some background information about the stroke condition, then I'll discuss rehabilitation robots in stroke physiotherapy, examples of available technologies, some market competition, and finally, the outlook for robotics on the Australian market. According to the World Stroke Organisation, stroke is the second leading cause of death worldwide and the third leading cause of disability. An excerpt from the 2022 Global Stroke Fact Sheet expands on this, highlighting that 101 million people are living with stroke aftermath. With previous data trends, the prevalence of this condition and thus disability due to stroke is expected to increase. Hemiparesis is a condition experienced by stroke survivors in which significant muscle weakness on one side of the body occurs. Hemiplegia involves paralysis of one side of the body. Gait impairment as a result of stroke aftermath can be characterized by reduced walking velocity and stability, which is influenced by muscle weakness, reduced motor control, and excessive energy consumption. Gait impairment can limit stroke patients' independence as they are less capable of performing day-to-day tasks on their own, such as walking, driving, crossing the road, and accessing the community. To improve gait, physiotherapy can be used to redevelop motor function, coordination, and strength. So how much is the stroke condition costing the economy? Stroke has been estimated to cost the global economy a whopping $861 billion US. This cost is influenced by the burden that stroke survivors place on the economy when they are unable to work due to disability, and costs which are also associated with caring support, rehabilitation, and just general medical costs. Due to the prevalence of stroke increasing, as previously mentioned, this cost burden is only expected to rise. Thus, there is a global need to offer more solutions for efficient stroke rehabilitation to return survivors to healthier, independent members of the community. So how does a rehabilitation robot help stroke patients and also reduce the cost burden on the global economy? We must consider that the future demand for physiotherapists to provide traditional stroke rehabilitation may be unachievable. A research paper, an intelligent bilateral exoskeleton assistive robot for smart rehabilitation, stated there is a lack of 400,000 physiotherapists in China alone. Thus, stroke patients are unlikely to receive the support they need for recovery, especially considering that multiple physicians are needed in traditional gait therapy. With commercialised robots aiming to cover the gap in available physiotherapists for the third most common disability in the whole world, the large and expanding markets for rehabilitation robots can be appreciated. Let's take a look at some existing devices which have been designed to seize this market opportunity. The paper by Li et al. Outlined a comparative table of marketed exoskeleton robots as of 2021. This table, as on the slide, includes two devices, the HAL and the Bear H1 for hemiplegic stroke rehabilitation. Both devices have 6 degrees of freedom, yet only the Bear H1 utilises compliant actuators and offers active training modes. The benefits of such actuation and training methods will be explained in the coming slides. This table enables the small yet expanding market of rehabilitation robots to be understood, and the competitive features to be clearly compared. We will now take a look into the company, MileBot Robotics, who are responsible for the design and commercialisation of the Bear H1. MileBot Robotics is a startup company founded in 2016 in Shenzhen, China. This company has developed 4 rehabilitation robots, including 3 for the lower limb and just 1 for the hand. So these devices were innovated by founder Chen Wang and Jing Yi, and they're readily available on the market. MileBot Robotics devices aim to enhance the effectiveness of rehabilitation training through intelligent robotics. The 4 robots developed by MileBot Robotics are highlighted on the slide. The Bear H1 and Bear A1 both provide complete or assistive support for walking, sitting and standing. The hip joint can assist in hip flexion and extension during walking, and the hand rehabilitation robot can assist in retraining or strengthening the hand to move in its full range of motion. It should be noted that the devices are not limited to stroke recovery and may be beneficial in supporting elderly populations with significant muscle weakness. Let's investigate a specific design designed by MileBot Robotics to understand more deeply how it can benefit stroke recovery. The Bear H1 is a wearable, battery-powered lower limb rehabilitation robot, which has been designed to provide individualised gait training to stroke patients. The unique features of this device include force control via compliant actuation, active training modes, and artificial intelligence systems to predict specific gait patterns. The equipment involved in this device includes a battery-powered backpack, touchscreen display, waistband, a left and right leg, and corresponding foot platforms. This device has a hip, knee, and ankle joint on each side of the body, which is used to allow for the mimicking of natural gait patterns. To ensure that personalised gait training is possible, the Bear H1 utilises IMU sensors in each joint to detect kinematics such as joint angle, velocity, and force. Rotary encoders in the joints convert the real-time angular positions to digital signals, which are then fed into an artificial intelligence algorithm. The algorithm predicts the angular positions required to complete the patient-specific gait cycle and the forces needed to achieve this position. Control theory is applied in the actuation of this force to ensure the limbs move to desired positions with minimal overshoot, steady state error, and delay. This allows for safe actuation of the Bear H1 joints for patient-specific gait. And these principles aim to present the background knowledge and skills required to develop such devices. One case study by Lee et al. Investigated the effectiveness of the Bear H1 on stroke recovery. The device was used in training sessions to develop muscle strength and balance. When comparing outcomes to a control group who received conventional physiotherapy, the Bear H1 group displayed increased motor and walking ability after only 4 weeks of training. This study implies that the device is an effective rehabilitation device. A second study investigated the impact of this individualised training with the Bear H1. Parameters such as heart rate, or HR, and peripheral capillary oxygen saturation, or SpO2, before and after different gait training sessions were used to evaluate outcomes. This experiment found that 9 unilateral hemiplegic stroke patients who followed individualised gait training for 15 minutes had significantly higher heart rates and lower SpO2 readings. This indicated improved energy efficiency compared to when they wore the same robot for 15 minutes doing generic gait training. Thus, individualised training was more efficient for hemiplegic stroke patients. And due to fatigue being a limiting factor for stroke rehabilitation, this robot poses significant benefit compared to others such as the HAL or the Rewalk, which do not allow for individualised training. The Bear H1 is considered a Class 2 medical device by the National Medical Products Administration within the Rehabilitation Devices Catalogue. This classification indicates that the device is a mid-risk medical device that requires further control to ensure safety and effectiveness. Standards and regulations are used to ensure compliance. For wearable medical devices, including the Bear H1, standards for compliance may include medical device safety, usability, biocompatibility, these are all highlighted on the slides, and some standards for software cybersecurity are also required to protect patient cloud data. A comprehensive and diverse team was involved in the development of MileBot Robotics and their devices. A range of technical and general skills were used to develop the robots. Other business and regulatory knowledge was required to get the device to market and to also run the company. In order to design the robots themselves, technical skills around embedded systems and hardware was required to design an actuated system with IMUs and rotary encoders. Knowledge of artificial intelligence programming was required to design algorithms to produce patient-specific live feedback. Control theory and its application was also needed in order to design a robot with safe actuation. Knowledge of materials and manufacturing was required to optimize cost, weight, and mechanical properties of the device. So there were skills in software development of the data cloud, and they were required alongside data processing to make the data interpretable for patients and other medical practitioners. Other skills, such as knowledge of regulatory requirements, is essential in the development of medical devices. Companies, such as MileBot Robotics, who are working in device development, must provide documentation of designs and testing to prove this compliance. Sales and marketing skills are also essential to initiate a startup company, to get the finances, successfully get the device to market, and to ensure that a profit is made, to ensure that the continuation of the company is actually possible. The hybrid assistive limb, or the HAL, is a similar device that exists in the market. Like the Bear H1, it provides overground rehabilitation with the same 6 joints actuated, those being the hip, the knee and the ankle for the left and right leg. The HAL provides torque in an assist as needed method. The effectiveness of this device for stroke rehabilitation was evaluated in a 4-week clinical study concluding it as a safe method for stroke rehabilitation. It also improved walking speed and distance. So the assist as needed technology reduced asymmetry of hemiparetic gait. This study included only 3 patients and should be scaled for further information. As mentioned in the previous slides, the passive training mode of the HAL may limit the overall natural gait functionality of patients compared to the active training modes by the Bear H1. There are many unique and advantageous features of MileBot Robotics devices. As mentioned previously, all devices use live feedback and artificial intelligence algorithms to develop patient-specific training. This training method has been shown to be more effective than generic physiotherapy and also more effective than rehabilitation devices which don't have the patient-specific options. So this device offers a solution to the shortage of physiotherapists for stroke rehabilitation and has a range of training modes to cover the scope of patient requirements. The device also offers competitive manufacturing. These costs are due to it being produced and sold from the Chinese equivalent of the Silicon Valley. Limitations of the Bear H1 include height and weight restrictions. This device can only be used for patients within the range of 150 to 190 centimetres of height and less than 85 kilograms in weight. The weight range should be increased to ensure a broader scope of patients can use the device. The outlook of the device is promising due to the demand for stroke rehabilitation increasing beyond the capacity of available therapists. So currently, MileBot Robotics is working on improving the design of the Bear H1, however specific details have not been provided for privacy reasons. The Bear H1 currently has the potential to revolutionise stroke rehabilitation, and with increased commercialisation and investment, this may be possible. Considering the success of MileBot Robotics in developing rehabilitation robots, we must consider the feasibility and methods that could be used to achieve similar, if not better outcomes in Australia. To be successful in Australia, a startup company would need to design a device with similar passive and active training modes. This would optimise the efficient gait outcomes and make sure that patient-specific outcomes are achievable. The device should aim to treat multiple conditions other than stroke, including paraplegia. It could support individuals living with multiple sclerosis. It may also help the elderly and potentially aid labourers in physically demanding work. This would expand the market size significantly and be a competitive feature compared with the Bear H1. Despite the Chinese market having access to cheap manufacturing, Australian devices should be manufactured locally with cost-effective methods to support the local economy. The device or devices could be established in hospitals across the country, aiding physiotherapists in populated cities or in remote communities where there is reduced access to healthcare. Incentives such as free trials, lifetime warranty, and reduced price for multiple robots could be offered to entice consumers. The Internet of Things could be also used to form a data cloud for real-time analysis of performance, and considering all these factors, there is a real possibility that rehabilitation robots could actually be successful in the Australian economy. So I'll just give a brief summary of this presentation. So from the increasing prevalence of stroke, the growing and ageing population, and the global shortage of physiotherapists has established a huge market for rehabilitation robots. Devices such as the Bear H1 and HAL are leading the field in terms of innovation. Similar opportunities for growth exist in Australia, and they should be used to ensure the Australian population has access to affordable and effective care. Opportunities to enter a rapidly expanding market would also support Australian companies and the national economy. So thank you for watching this presentation. I hope there were some major takeaways, including the opportunities for rehabilitation robots to treat stroke in Australia. And if you have any questions, please be in touch. Thank you.